Should be live. How's everybody doing today? Maynard Edwards here of Tyler's Place podcast, and I'm joined by two very illustrious brethren. I'll introduce the boss first, if that's okay with you, Carol. We're with the Sovereign Grand Inspector General of the Orient of Washington, Valley of DC. Do I get it right?
It's close.
Close enough? All right. I goof it up all the time. And also the General Secretary of the Valley. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here today. We've got something exciting happening, and this is, for lack of a better word, our test run for a live feed that we're doing next week. Brother Roger Van Gordon is coming here. He's past Grand Master of Indiana, and he is going to come and talk and basically give a talk that he gave at the Conference of Grand Masters back in February, and this evidently had everybody on their feet, so we're excited to be able to bring that to you guys and also try a little test pilot where we're going to use the Scottish Rite app, use the Scottish Rite DC app, and also use the WSB Club app to just get sort of a members-only look at a really unique program. So this is kind of on the cutting edge, sir.
Certainly is, and with our 2,600 members that are spread throughout the world, this is a chance for them to catch up on exactly what's taking place here in our Mithras Lodge of Perfection on May the 1st.
Now, this is absolutely one of the most diverse valleys and orients in the world because, as you mentioned, you've got guys all over the world, and that's because DC, you've got guys military, government, so on and so forth, and then they go back home. So how far spread out is the Orient of DC?
Well, throughout the world, that's certainly for sure. What most of our members are aware, that we absorb the NATO bodies, and now they're part of our NATO body club. So tremendous number of men in Europe, those that are expats, those are still in the military or are, for lack of a better word, people that are still working for the government but now in other roles, basically in Germany, Italy, and they travel throughout the world. So we're hoping that they'll be able to catch up to us.
Yeah, this is a way to really let those brothers who are, wheresoever dispersed, and guys who aren't members of this valley necessarily, but still Scottish Rite members, are able to get and see this very unique presentation. Now, Carol, I understand you're the guy who knows quite a bit about this building. This is a beautiful building. It's right on the 16th Street in. Oh, that's me and my own phone in the playback. Right here on 16th Street, which is sort of Embassy Row in Washington, D.C. Tell us a little bit about the Scottish Rite D.C. building.
Well, it's part of the Meridian Hill Historic District. It's parked between the old Italian embassy, which is being refurbished into apartments now, and the what used to be a Mormon chapel. We broke ground here in 1938, and the building was dedicated in 1940, and we've been operating since that time.
It's a beautiful building inside and out. Your auditorium downstairs is one of the finest I've seen. Tell us about the seats, and because even though the building was around in 1938, there's a lot down there. It sure seems like it's right at the forefront.
Well, the building itself is what's called Art Moderne. It's the cusp. It's 392 people.
Acoustically perfect.
Acoustically perfect, yes. We've had acoustic studies done by Purple professionals in that area, and we've changed all the lighting in there. Everything in there is LED now, so we always have plenty of light. And we very seldom see it packed to the gills, but usually when we have the 33rd ceremony in there, we have to put up chairs.
Now, you might not be packed to the gills, but I've been here for a meeting, and you guys always have a good crowd. You've got a good supper program that's happened. Tell us a little bit about how your meetings go. I know you have them every Tuesday, basically.
We do. We're probably one of the few, I would say, Orients that meet every week. We meet on Tuesdays. We start out with a meal at no cost to our members, and they then come upstairs here to the room, our lodge room, where we have programs. Of course, it starts out with the Mithras Lodge, which will be on May the 1st. And then we go each successive Tuesday with programs that can vary. Things that could be on the esoteric part of Scottish Rite Masonry, could be on history symbolism, could also be on personal development type issues or social issues. So we like to have programs that are going on that are stimulating to our members, and you're right about numbers. Usually Carol can tell you the exact numbers, but it varies between 60 and 90 people each and every Tuesday. So we're proud of what we do here, and certainly we welcome other brethren from other valleys, other Orients, and they're always amazed when they come here. So it's a welcoming place.
Yeah, and I no doubt that trying to keep track of all those guys, all those different countries, all those things is a tough job. Brother Carroll here, you wouldn't know it. He's only 32 years old, and this is how much the stress wears on. No, but really, you do a fantastic job keeping everything organized and keeping all the guys. It's got to be a real source of pride for the whole valley and the whole Orient here.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're very proud of our building and our membership. We have a lot of fellowship that goes on during our meetings, during our meals prior to the meetings. I mean, and everybody in the District of Columbia knows that if you want to see somebody, the Rite's the place to be on Tuesday night.
Now, illustrious Brother Proden here, he has another job within the Supreme Council, and that is that you are the Grand Almoner, and you have had quite a busy season, unfortunately, over the last 6 or 8 months. In fact, there's an article coming out of the upcoming Scottish Rite Journal that you wrote with regard to some of the work that's going on to relieve our brothers in Houston and in Florida and in Puerto Rico. Talk a little bit about what's happening there, and like I say, it's unfortunate that you've been busy, but it's been good that we've been able to be there for guys in need.
Well, certainly, we put out an appeal. We're talking about the Supreme Council of the Southern Jurisdiction to our members for the disaster relief of our members. In fact, all those that were, I guess, afflicted in those 3 areas. The one that we have dealt specifically with, because it was the last, we know that Texas was able to rebound fairly quickly. We also know that Florida, and particularly in Key West, they are now on the rebound, but we still find, just as we read in the news, that Puerto Rico has not rebounded as quickly. One of the, and we just can only give plaudits to those in the NATO body club, because they raised monies and directed it specifically to go to Puerto Rico, and they raised roughly about, Carol, $5,000 or $6,000. We then matched that, and we sent them a check for $12,000 so that their Scottish Rite building could now have air conditioning and can be back functioning, as well as dispersing assistance to those brethren and those who are afflicted, so that you don't have to be a Scottish Rite Mason or be a Mason to get any of that help, aid, or support.
It's so important to realize that just because the news cameras aren't there anymore, and the TV and the radio and the newspapers aren't reporting every 5 minutes about what's going on in Puerto Rico, it doesn't mean their problems are over. Just over this past weekend, there was news of a massive blackout, took out power to literally the entire island, and we have brothers that have been in contact with us, letting us know that they're okay and things, but especially in the rural areas, still very hard hit. So that relief is vital.
Certainly is. And also, when we put the appeal out to all of our Orients in the Southern Jurisdiction, they did respond. Monies came to the House of the Temple under the direction of Admiral Bill Sizemore, our executive director there. And I guess they're, for lack of a better word, they're not a credit card, but they're like give me the right word.
Like a gift card type of thing?
Right. Yeah. Gift cards, right. I think they were American Express that were sent to those areas. Again, trying to meet the needs of the people who are under duress there.
Yeah, and every little bit helps. Certainly, you're not going to be able to rebuild every single home, but you can get some new clothes, some medicine that you might need, or toys for the kids to keep them occupied, who've been pretty hard hit by some of these things. So it meets some of the real immediate needs that folks might have. So it's just so critical. I'm going to switch gears here just a little bit before we give one final plug for the event on May 1st. And that is, I hear tell of something very unique to the District of Columbia, and that is, and I don't know who's responsible for it, but I need to give kudos to that man. Tell me about the ice cream. A lot of people have talked about the ice cream.
Is that you? We need Ken Cohen.
We do. Dessert, Dove bars, that seems to always be there each and every week. We have various desserts at the conclusion of our meals, but those Dove bars, That's why we come.
Yeah, it's just an open refrigerator policy, and which to me is that right there is worth the price of admission alone.
Right, absolutely.
So, well, brothers, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to the event next week. Guys, let me give you the info on how to tune in to the live stream. Now, it's not going to be on YouTube because that would be open to the general public. It's going to be a closed link on Vimeo. So you're going to look for, if you use the Scottish Rite app, which used to be called the Scottish Rite Day app, you can find that on your app store. Just go search Scottish Rite, and that'll come up. Or you can, if you're a member of the WSB Club, you can use that app. Or if you are a member of the DC Scottish Rite and you're in that app, the link will be posted that day. You'll be able to tune in that night and watch exactly what's going on with Brother Roger Van Gordon is here. He's past Grand Master of Indiana, May 1st. Let's call it, what, 7 o'clock? Is that what? 7:30. 7:30, we're going to do that. So this is Scottish Rite members only. So if you're watching this and you're not signed up for one of those apps, send us an email to membership@scottishrite.org, and we'll get you in the door there. Again, it's for Scottish Rite brothers only, and we'll send you that closed link. Or is it for Freemasons only? For Master Masons. All right, so we'll send us an email to membership@scottishrite.org. Once we verify that you're duly qualified, as it were, we'll get you that link so that you can tune in and watch the presentation. We'll also, the day of on Facebook, we'll give out a little shout out so guys who are not duly qualified yet can send us an email and one last shot at getting in, because this is something we really want to show and showcase not only the great talk that Brother Roger's going to give, but also showcase some of the great things happening here at the DC Scottish Rite. So, illustrious sir, thank you. Illustrious brother, thank you. And we'll catch you guys very soon. Don't forget Tyler's Place podcast. You can find anywhere you listen to podcasts. And you can just download it and search Tyler's Place. There's also an app for that as well. We'll catch you next Tuesday, Tuesdays with Maynard. Hopefully we'll be able to get the technological hiccups to work, so it's no problem. And don't forget, May 1st, 7:30 p.m. Keep an eye out on those apps for the link to be able to join us that evening.